Yo, what's going on YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte. We're taking a look today at the series between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Minnesota Wild. After 4 games in this series going back to Vegas, the Vegas Golden Knights lead this thing 3-1, and we'll be taking a look at that in this video. So, guys, this series has been pretty insane so far, and most people, I think, would say Vegas was the favorite for sure. I mean, Vegas is the team that a lot of people were expecting to win the division, the conference, the entire, NHL, win the President's Trophy. They did tie Colorado for that mark, but fortunately for them, Colorado was that team that won the President's Trophy and won the division. So Vegas had a fairly tough matchup here in the Minnesota Wild, with guys like Kirill Kaprizov, Joel Eriksson Ek, and Cam Talbot in between the pipes, really proving to be a real legitimate force here in the West Division. But things didn't start off the way everyone had hoped. Game 1 at Vegas, you were expecting Vegas to get on the board. They were shut out in Game 1 by Cam Talbot. It took an overtime marker, just over 3 minutes into overtime. Joel Eriksson Ek on the road shocked Vegas and the entire hockey world as the Minnesota Wild won Game 1 and were up 1-0 in this series. Going into Game 2, the vibe had definitely changed. Vegas had started to take some momentum, but not without Minnesota being a problem. Minnesota went up 1-0, and that was the end of that. It was all Vegas from there. Less than 20 seconds after Matt Dumba's goal in the second period, Jonathan Marchessault would tie the game, and that would be as close as it would get once again for Dumba and the Wild, as Vegas ran away with this game. We saw a goal from Alex Tuch, which proved to be the game winner. Again, a little salt in the wound there for the Minnesota Wild, the guy they gave up to the Vegas Golden Knights a couple years back in the expansion draft. Alex Tuch, that one definitely hurts. There's more to the Alex Tuch storyline as we move along. And then we also saw, just to add a little bit more, Alex Tuch scoring once again, his second of the postseason, his second of the game. And there you go, a 3-1 game. 2 really, honestly, pretty nice goals by Alex Tuch in front of the net. And it's a 3-1 win for the Vegas Golden Knights, and they now tie the series going back to Minnesota. Now, like I've said in the postseason so far, you're not in trouble in a series until you lose at home. And Minnesota winning Game 1 actually was favored in this series at this point, because they win their 2 at home. Now you got Vegas against the wall. That didn't prove to be the case. Going into Game 3, Vegas had absolutely all the momentum, and they just followed that up in game number 3. A 5-2 victory. But it didn't come without a little bit of an obstacle. Again, Minnesota, for the 3rd consecutive game, gets the lead. And they go up 2-0. And again, they get the first goals, and then they never respond. And they give up the rest of the goals the rest of the way. Mark Stone is first of the postseason. Patrick Brown, Riley Smith, Carlson, Mark Stone second of the game. A 5-2 win for Vegas. So now, in the first game, they had 0 goals. And now in games 2 and 3 combined in 2 games, the Vegas Golden Knights were able to put in 8 goals in 2 games. So obviously a little bit of a change in that regard. Going into Game 4 now, at this point, Minnesota is kind of up against the fence. They've lost now Game 2 and 3. They've given up 8 goals in 2 games. And if they lose that Game 4 at home, now you have to go to Vegas and try and win. You're going to have to win 2 in Vegas, whether that's Games 5 and 7, and they have to win a Game 6 at home, which you've just lost Games 3 and 4 at home. So even the possibility of winning at home in Game 6 seems like a very rough possibility at that point. And we saw the result of that today. And Minnesota looked dead. They didn't even start the game on time. Usually they would score the first goal, right? Not the case in this one. Nick Waugh would get a goal. Nicholas Roy, Alex Tuch once again, Mark Stone. Roy would get 2 goals. The captain Stone got a goal, and Alex Tuch, once again, his third of the postseason. Stone gets his third goal of the postseason, and that's it. And the Vegas Golden Knights win again. So a 4-0 finish. Honestly, I was hoping Minnesota would put up more of a fight in this series. Now, if they win game 5 here in Vegas, it's going to make things more interesting. But at this point, not looking good for the Wild. And they just have not had the gas. You could see as the series has gone along, it was a close game, a somewhat close game in game, for the most part in game 2. But now game 3 and game 4 have been dominated by the Vegas Golden Knights, who won by 3. Well, honestly, they won by 3 goals in game 2, won by 3 goals in game 3. They won by 4 goals in game 4. Not to mention a shutout from Marc-Andre Fleury. Not the result the Wild were hoping for in this series. Kirill Kaprizov has been kept off the board for the most part. And the Minnesota Wild just don't seem like they have that same mojo they did during the regular season. And it just shows you the beast, the animal that is the Stanley Cup playoffs, how different it is. And the Wild have just not been able to hold their own in this series. They did very good in the regular season against the Vegas Golden Knights. And some Wild fans, rightfully so, felt like they could maybe do something this year. But as of right now, they're not out till it's over. But as of right now, not looking good for the Minnesota Wild. You got to give some credit, though, to some guys in Vegas. Mark Stone, 3 goals this postseason, like I mentioned. Alex Tuch, 3 goals this postseason. And obviously the goaltending of Marc-Andre Fleury has been just next level incredible. And even though he's getting up there in age, in his mid-30s, Marc-Andre Fleury continues to chug along and be one of the best goaltenders in the league. And Cam Talbot, who's had a very good season here for the Minnesota Wild, once again, it looks like the postseason, his postseason numbers have just not been good, and that continues this year. The lack of experience and just the youth on this team, that is to be expected. But the good news is for the Wild, they're showing promise, and this is a really solid Vegas Golden Knights team, probably a top 3 or 4 team in the league. If not, you could argue the best team in the league. That is just how dominant they are. So guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What do you think of the Vegas Golden Knights and Minnesota Wild series here in the first round of the 2021 Stanley Cup playoffs? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, you guys already know what to do. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.